Okay, today I am going to talk to you about your long run and how you should be approaching it. And by a long run, I mean the longest run in your training plan each week. Obviously, it's going to be different. If you're training for a marathon, your long run is going to be much longer than if you're training for a 10K, but the principle still applies. Many runners make the mistake of doing their long run too fast, and what happens is that they burn out during their training, they become at risk of injury, and or when they get to race day they find that actually they've done their race while they were training and they've got nothing left to give in the actual event. So the key message I want you to get today is that you need to be running your long run at a really easy effort level, and by really easy I mean an effort level where you can talk quite normally, you are barely out of breath. If you are running fairly slowly or easily enough, you should feel like you're running ridiculously slowly. It should feel almost stupidly slowly. And if that's how it is for you, you've probably got it about right. The reasons for this are that you need your long run to have a purpose, and the sole purpose of your long run is about increasing your distance that you can run. It's about building your endurance and enabling your body to develop the systems, that's both your muscular systems and your heart and lungs, your breathing, your oxygen, your fuel using systems, so that they can cope with keeping going for longer. So if your long run has got that sole purpose of building that endurance, it's only about covering the distance that you need to. If you want to work on developing your systems for going faster, that's great, but you need to be doing it in another run. Otherwise, what happens is you put yourself at risk of overtraining, at risk of injury. So, in practical terms, that means you need to be running your long run probably about 20% slower than you would do in another run, or than you intend to run your target race at. So for example, if you are going to run your marathon at 10-minute miles, you want to be running your long runs at around 12-minute miles, which feels a little bit illogical because you think, hang on a minute, if I am running my long runs at 12-minute miles, how on earth am I going to manage 10-minute miles on the day? The answer is that you do your speed work, you're running faster in your other runs during the week, and your body is being conditioned that way. The long runs condition your body to run further, and then as your training progresses, gradually the two start to come together, and with your taper bringing that period of really good quality recovery, you will find that the benefits of the faster runs, the benefit of the long runs start to come together, and when it gets to race day, you are able to physically run at the effort level and the pace that you want to. The exception to that is if you are a more experienced runner and, for example, setting out to train for your second marathon, you can afford to include some race pace efforts in your training, but I would strongly advise, sorry, when I say in your training, I actually mean in your long runs. But I would strongly advise that if you're fairly new to running, or you're training for your first marathon, first half marathon, perhaps first ultra, that you stick solely to the principle of doing all of your long running at a really easy effort. Get your body conditioned really well, and you will reap the rewards by doing it. So remember, if it feels stupidly easy, you've probably got it right.